Good morning, friends. So I have my coffee. We are waiting for the bins to open, and I wanted to chat with you guys a little bit about the feedback on my last video. I appreciate everyone's comments so much, and there's a lot of great ideas. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the backstory, I guess, as to how I became a thrifter reseller full-time. So the earliest memory I would say I have of being like thrifty, or that type of like wanting to save money but still get stuff type of feeling, was when I was a kid. My grandfather was like the flea market man, like he was at the flea market every weekend. Everyone knew him, and he used to take myself, my sister, and my cousin, and I vividly remember him giving us like a roll of quarters, and we were just allowed to get whatever we wanted. And at the time, the age I probably was like, I don't know, between like 8 and 13, I would say. I remember getting Pokemon cards. I remember tables and tables of Pokemon cards, and I also remember lots of clothes, but I vividly remember Pokemon cards, and I know that's what I would spend my quarters on. So that to me was like my very first taste of like thriftiness. And then growing up as a kid, I always loved fashion, but I went to a Catholic school predominantly from 3rd through 11th grade. So for all of those years of schooling, I wore a uniform that was decided for me by the school that I went to. So I had no choice, basically no choice whatsoever. Like they even, earrings had to be posts. Like it was, if you went to Catholic school, so there was really no individuality encouraged in school. And then outside of school, I would just say my mom never really cared about fashion, so it wasn't something that I don't ever remember her taking me to the mall, and it was always like unbranded or like Walmart brand clothing, because that's the closest store to where we lived. So on the internet looking at like Burberry's website, as if Burberry, and I remember looking at their trench coats, and I loved the classic Novacek, and as if that was something that I could ever buy myself at that time. But it was just something I was just like, oh, this is my favorite designer. I always remembered like looking at designers. And then I remember my stepmom bought me glasses. These are my Fendi glasses, but my stepmom bought me a pair of designers. She bought me a pair of Burberry glasses, and I loved them. I wore those glasses. I probably shouldn't have worn them for so long because the prescription wasn't good anymore, but I loved those glasses. Anyway, so I always loved fashion. And I would say after, being a kid and living with my parents and having my own money and really knowing the value of a dollar, my first big girl job was at a law firm. And, all these attorneys, all these ladies have these pretty dresses, these gorgeous suits, these sweaters that are so pretty, these heels, this, that, and the other. And I go in J. Crew, and they want like $300 for a job. It's just astronomical, and I couldn't afford to wear what I wanted at a retail cost. So I started going to Goodwill for myself. And it was funny because when I did, a few of the attorneys would be like, oh, I love your shoes. Oh, I love your pants. Oh, I love your blouse. And I'm like, thanks, girl. Got it at Goodwill. Thanks, I got it at Goodwill. It was like the first thing I said, and I couldn't help it. Thanks, I got it at Goodwill. And they were like, no way. And I'm like, yeah. And then I would like brag that, oh yeah, I only spent $4 on it. And then it was like, almost became addicting at that point to tell people like, yeah, I have this really nice thing, and I didn't pay anything for it. And I still love it just as much as if I had paid a lot of money for it, but I didn't have to. One of our clients was the Goodwill of the location that we were in. And I was the low man on the totem pole when I first started working there. So I was a runner, and I got sent to places to like hand deliver letters or have things signed or this, that, the other. And one of the places I had to go to was their corporate office, but this corporate office happened to be attached to a regular retail store, which was also attached to a bins. And I was bad, and I snuck into the retail store after I did my little drop off, and I was in there for 5 minutes because I'm panicking that I need to get back to work. But I found Tory Burch flats. They were clear Tory Burch flats, like jellies, and I was waiting in line to pay for them, and all of a sudden through these like glass windows I noticed that people started like going ham, and I was like, and I asked the cashier when I got up there, I said, what's everybody doing over there? And like I said, this bins was attached to the retail store. So I was seeing the bins, but I didn't know it. And I was seeing a brand new row being released. And she goes, oh, they're paying by the pound. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I never paid any money. I never Googled it. I was just like, oh, that looks a little intense. Like, I was just like, no, that's not for me. I don't even know what that means, paying by the pound. Okay. Then fast forward to about 2015, when my then boyfriend, now husband, and I moved to Colorado. I was on the way to my job at Fabric, which is like it's actually closed now, how sad. It was a little boutique clothing store near one of the colleges here, and I actually got hired and was working when they were opening, so I helped open the store, and that was very interesting to see how that all worked, like literally be there from day one of like putting the fixtures together to customers then being in the store after the soft opening and the part, it was just very interesting to be able to see that whole process and in a fashion sense. But anyway, so I was on the way to that job, and I had a few extra minutes, and I had Googled on my route, because I still had no idea where we were. We had just moved here, and I had to Google Maps everywhere, Goodwill, and this Goodwill outlet showed up, and I went in, and it was not busy. And I was there for like 30 minutes because I was on a time crunch on my way to work, and I remember checking out, and I only paid like $7, because at that point I think the bins were only 69 cents a pound. Now it's $1.69 a pound. But I was hooked from that moment on. I guess you could say I'm a crazy bins lady. So really, I feel like, oh no, they're letting everybody in. Bye guys. So they opened the doors a few minutes early, and I had to rush in. But I was saying that I feel like I really just enjoy getting to own these items for a brief moment, and then sending them off to their new home to then be loved by someone else and being paid for that service. If that makes sense. And here's a crocheted baby head. So we're sorting our cart, and I'm doing my best to film footage in the bins. So I know it's really loud in the bins, and it might be hard to hear me, but all I said was that we're sorting our cart, and I'm trying my best to get some bins footage for you guys. Found some Lovers and Friends denim, brand new with the tags. That was very exciting. And a lot of these things I'm going to be showing you guys in a haul. That's the second part to this video that will come out tomorrow, I think, because I'm going to film it today.
Okay.
So hopefully tomorrow it will be up. This pair of jeans was super interesting. They have a Levi's tab, but it's blue, and then they also have a different tab on the back, and here I'm trying to make out what it's saying, and in a moment I'm going to bring it closer to the camera so you can see it, and I'm going to ask you guys if you can tell what it says. But thankfully my husband, as soon as I brought them home, he just read it, and it says moving on. So these are vintage Levi's jeans, and I've never seen this little tag before, so it'll be interesting to see what they are.
What does that say, guys? That's Levi's. And the button is Levi's. Ooh, it's a 42 pound zipper. So that's good. And they're changing the row.
Changing a row out now. So my process is kind of to put everything in my cart, and then what I don't want just goes on the floor, and then I throw it back into the bins. And everything I do want, I'm putting in the second cart. actually have a very full cart today. So they were taking a little while to rotate, so I decided to keep sorting, and I found this gorgeous dress. I want to say it's from the 50s maybe, but I'll have to do a little bit more research. There's no brand. Just checking the inside of this Loungefly backpack, and in a few moments my friend Henry's going to come over and chat with me. He's always giving the gossip, telling you the drama with what's going on in bins.
That's it?
Give me that.
I'm in good shape. Found lot. Oh, I'm just kidding.
You're good?
Yep, we're good. Found lots of shoes this morning.
That's why she thinks she's good.
So if you'd like to see the haul video portion of this bin strip, let me know in the comments below, and I will make that happen for you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to hit like on your way out. See you next time, friends.